This is New York's #1 news, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, with Ken Rosato and Shirley Nalicott, Heather O'Rourke with traffic, and Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News this morning.
Right now, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a deadly parking garage collapse in Manhattan. Several people are hurt, and the tragedy is creating ripple effects throughout the neighborhood for people who live and go to school in the area. Pace University right nearby. We're live with team coverage.
Plus, the fight over the abortion pill continues. The Supreme Court is expected to weigh in today as we wait to learn whether restrictions on the drug could remain in effect.
And another major court case, this one in our area, the Manhattan District Attorney's lawsuit against the House Judiciary Chairman over the trial against former President Trump will be the subject of a hearing today. Good morning to you. We're halfway through. It is Wednesday, April 19th. I'm Ken Rosato.
And I'm Michelle Charlesworth in for Shirley Nalicott. We have big weather news this morning, a red flag warning in effect for all of New Jersey. Let's send it over to meteorologist Brittany Bell in for Sam Champion. Hi, Brittany.
Hey, Michelle and Ken. So that red flag warning was extended overnight. Like you said, it includes all of New Jersey, and that's because it is just going to be breezy and very dry once again. So any small spark could start a fire very quickly, and that fire could be hard to contain. So this is the latest. We have breezy conditions already this morning. Winds out of the west-northwest up to 10 to 13 miles per hour. It could gust up to 25 throughout this afternoon. And dew points, which show the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, these numbers are down into the 20s and the 30s, so just very windy and very dry. Current temperatures are down into the 40s overall. It's 46 degrees in Central Park, Belmar 39, and 41 degrees in Islip. Also watching partly cloudy skies. We'll see more sunshine this afternoon and a bit warmer with a high of 63. More details about this warming trend coming up. Heather?
And Brittany, we have this commuter alert in the Bronx. It's the Cross Bronx Expressway right near Nelson Avenue. Fatal accident, all traffic being diverted off onto the Deegan. So we do have some video of this crash, and you can see how badly that BMW was damaged in this accident. A BMW smashed into the rear of that tractor trailer at 1:45 this morning when the driver tried to pass him on the Cross Bronx Expressway right near Nelson Avenue. The passenger of the car was killed. The 19-year-old driver was treated for minor injuries. The tractor-trailer driver was not hurt, and speed is a possible factor in the crash. So we'll head over here and talk to you about the George Washington Bridge. Coming inbound, you can see we have delays across that upper level. Outbound side, they are clearing some construction. Plus, since that Cross Bronx is closed down, you are not finding a lot of traffic going across that span, and lots of closures in Lower Manhattan because of that parking garage crash. Street cleaning rules are in effect. Ken, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Heather and Brittany. It is 4:33, and right now, a Manhattan neighborhood is trying to come to grips as Heather was just talking about that parking garage collapse.
Vehicles were piled up like matchbox cars, still are. Emergency crews had to bring in robots to search for possible victims so that no people would be hurt doing that. This morning, we know one person has died. 5 others are hurt. Meantime, the collapse forced Pace University to shift some of its classes to remote learning. The big question remains, how did this happen? We have team coverage this morning. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu looking into how the tragedy is affecting Pace University and the surrounding neighborhood, everyone who lives there. First, we want to go to Derick Waller with a look at what we know about how this happened. Derick.
Michelle, good morning. We're standing here at Ann and Nassau Streets, and these narrow downtown streets are even more difficult to navigate this morning because of that building collapse. And take a look down the street here. You can see the emergency responders who are working right now. You see you've got this fire truck and the tape that's down the block right in front of where that garage is located here on Ann Street. Now, that dramatic cell phone video that we've been showing you clearly shows how the top of that 4-story garage caved in with cars pancaking on top of each other. A worker in that building died. Now, while authorities are still waiting to share his identity, neighbors believe the victim was the longtime manager of the garage. Now, what comes next? They're going to have to carefully tear this century-old building down, which could take weeks or months. We've also learned more about the technology used in the search and rescue efforts. The FDNY deploying drones and their robotic dog into the building after they deemed it unsafe for firefighters. That robot can even live stream video.
They're able to stream stream the video directly to our phones, directly to our command center. We're able to share that. The great part of that is we're able to put these, use the technology to get information and reconnaissance without putting our firefighters' lives and our first responders' lives at risk.
We do not want to send in someone until we can make sure the building is shored up, but using the necessary technology, we're able to get a clear view of what's happening inside the building for the most part.
And they are going to continue to look for anyone who possibly could be in that building, but it does appear unlikely that there's anyone left inside because all of the workers have been accounted for. And this is one of those buildings where you don't park the car yourself. You actually hand the keys over to the attendant, so there would not have been any customers inside that building, thank goodness, at the time of that collapse. Now, that's what's going on here on Ann Street. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu, she's located right around the corner, and she has more about what some of these neighbors and Pace University students are going through. Janice?
Yeah, good morning, Derek. As you can imagine, this is certainly impacting everyone in this neighborhood. Specifically, I want to show you kind of down Ann Street right now. You can see Pace University here. There was another parking garage that neighbors the one that collapsed. This garage is run by city parking. Both of these heavily impacted this morning. Now, workers inside that parking garage say they heard a loud boom and were initially unsure what had happened. But shortly after the collapse of the neighboring garage, fire officials shut down the garage on 27 Beekman Street yesterday evening, deeming it unsafe. Now, people whose cars were parked there are now confused. They're unable to access their cars. Some don't even know if their cars are damaged. Meanwhile, students who live at the Pace University dorms at 33 Beekman, they were able to return to their rooms last night after getting the all clear from the New York City Building Department. But they still say they were nervous to return to their rooms because many were inside when that garage next door came tumbling down.
We heard a big boom and we thought it hit our building, so we went to check the windows. We immediately saw smoke and we went on the side and we opened the window and it was completely just collapsed. Everything was collapsed, all debris, smoke, cars were sinking. It looked like out of a movie and it was horrible.
Well, classes that are usually held at 161 Williams Street will be remote today. Faculty and staff who have offices in that building are asked to be remote today as well. Again, this is very much a developing situation, so the university has on their website that students and faculty should be monitoring their website for any new updates. Live in Lower Manhattan, Janice Yu, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Janice, thank you so much. Stay with us as we follow this collapse. We're going to have continuing coverage here on Channel 7 and at ABC7 NY.
Time now is 4:38, and we have other stories we're following this morning. Today, there'll be a court hearing in Lower Manhattan about District Attorney Alvin Bragg's lawsuit against House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan. Bragg accuses Jordan of attempting to interfere in his ongoing investigation of former President Trump. The House Judiciary Committee recently held a hearing to discuss what Jordan is calling pro-crime and anti-crime policies in Manhattan. Bragg's office is calling that hearing a political stunt.
Today, the Supreme Court is expected to weigh in on a case involving access to abortion medication. Yesterday, lawyers for anti-abortion doctors urged the court to allow the restrictions on mifepristone to go into effect while the lawsuit continues. But the Biden administration wants the court to keep those restrictions on hold. Medication abortion makes up more than half of all abortions in the U.S., and mifepristone is one of 2 drugs used. A federal judge in Texas stripped it of its FDA approval earlier this month.
4:39 is our time. You're never more than 7 minutes away from weather traffic. Meteorologist Brittany Bell in for Sam with your AccuWeather forecast.
And Ken, it's going to be brighter and breezy today, but right now, still watching partly cloudy skies across parts of the area, but clouds will give way to more sunshine. That sun will eventually warm us up to high temperatures in the lower 60s, but right now, we're waking up to the 30s and the 40s. So mostly sunny skies, breezy too, with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we jump up to 68 degrees. Look at Friday flirting with the 80s, but we do start to cool back down throughout the weekend. A full look at your 7-day forecast is coming up in just a few. Heather?
Brittany, we're going back to the Bronx, and if you're planning on going to the Bronx over the Cross Bronx Expressway, you definitely want to listen to this. Cross Bronx going west right near Nelson Avenue. It's a fatal accident that happened at 1:45 this morning, so all that traffic is being diverted off onto the major Deegan Expressway. George Washington Bridge coming inbound, a little bit of a delay going across the span, and then, of course, lots of closures in Lower Manhattan and Fidei, Nassau Street, William Street, Ann Street, Gold Street, all because of the parking garage collapse. And we have our street cleaning rules in effect. Ken and Michelle, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. 4:40 right now. Up next on Eyewitness News this Wednesday morning, New York officials vote to ban Native American mascots and team names. But while many find these offensive, some Long Island parents are ready to fight the decision.
Plus, the FDA making moves to simplify the vaccine schedule for COVID-19. What you need to know about the shot.
And from the court to the ice, we have the latest playoff action from all of our local teams.